It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock on a Friday morning here in Music City. Welcome back in live to the Volume.com studio. Jason and Melissa with you, but you've been used to that for the last over 3 hours.
Yeah.
But the time has come. We weren't just playing around. Hannah Wicklund is here in the Volume.com studio. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Doing great.
How are you?
I'm so good. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
We're happy to have you here. Thank you so much for coming in early.
Yeah. This was late for me, so.
Really?
No, I'm just
I was gonna say, careful, because we might have you, come and guest co-host with us. And
I don't know. You guys seem like you do a beautiful job at that. I don't want to take that away from you.
Well, I was gonna say we might ask you to come in like in the 6 o'clock hour if you're really an early riser. But
I want to make sure that you're at your peak.
Exactly.
I don't want it to be too late.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It's about time for no.
No, we're so excited to not only have you here in studio, but also headlining our Nashville Sunday night out at 3rd and Lindsley this week. Looking very forward to that.
Me too.
Overall, I mean, you've been out on the road doing shows, right?
Yeah, I actually just got back into town a few days ago. We've been on the road with the Marcus King Band for about 6 weeks, and we're pretty much like halfway through that tour. We're taking a few weeks off and then jumping back on the road in the west side of things next month. So it's been a nice, busy start to the year, which I am so grateful for.
Yeah, definitely got a busy rest of the year, too. Looks like you've got all of the rest of the Marcus King Tour, which is most of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a few festivals you're hitting. Then you're going out again in August.
Yeah.
All sorts of things going on.
Yep, it's going to be a busy year. We're very, very excited.
Oh, well, we're excited that we get to have you here in studio. And again, looking forward to our Nashville Sunday night. Tristan Bushman going to open things up at 8 p.m. Hannah will take the stage at 9 p.m. There are still tickets still available, thirdandlindsley.com to get yours. And if you can't make it out, you might be streaming us right now. We are live at volume.com/lightning100. Of course, you can see the show live there as well as hear it live right here on Lightning 100. And you're about to hear Hannah Wicklund perform live right now on Lightning 100. At least I think so, because you brought this beautiful Martin guitar and you warmed up a little bit. Sounded amazing. You want to sing a song or two for our friends out in Radioland?
I would love to.
All right. So which one do you want to play first, Hannah?
I'll ease us into the morning. This is one called Shadowboxes and Porcelain Faces, and it's off of my last record. And yeah.
All right.
Hopefully it sits nice.
Let's do it. Here it is. It's Hannah Wicklund live in the Volume.com studio here on Lightning 100.
If I'm gonna know you, you need to know yourself first. And don't rehearse what you're gonna say, 'cause we're all messed up a little anyways, and it's the in-between where we'll figure out what your story says. These eyelid reels, they're not real life, they're just for show. Oh, oh, oh. Tell me a story. What did I haven't heard?
Hannah Wicklund live here in the Volume.com studio at Shadowboxes and Porcelain Faces. Maybe it is later in the day. I don't think it is 9 a.m. because I don't think this is possible at 9 a.m.
It's like, wow.
I think it has to be like 4 at the earliest, 4 p.m. at the earliest.
Either that or Hannah's really been awake since like 3 a.m. and
I haven't gone to sleep yet since last night.
Okay, there we go.
that might explain it.
I'm just kidding. You guys are very kind. Thank you.
Oh no, it sounds fantastic,
Oh,
Hannah.
absolutely.
And again, this is we're about 9:15 on a Friday morning, and we're going to get to see Hannah perform a full hour set at our Nashville Sunday night out at 3rd and Lindsley, taking the stage at 9 p.m. on Sunday. So looking very forward to that. So glad to have Hannah here in the Volume.com studio. So that was from your last record.
It is.
Do you? I know you write most of what you record and release, and you record a lot of it as well, right?
Yeah, I definitely haven't put out a ton of music in the last couple of years because I've been writing and recording and getting it ready, which I'm very excited to get out there. But yeah, no, I'm pretty much always writing, and that song in particular, though, it was a co-write here in Nashville. It was one of the first and few co-writes that I've really done. But Lincoln Parrish and I co-wrote that song.
Formerly from KG Elephant, right?
Yeah. We did that together back in 2017. We wrote it.
Okay.
And then we recorded it. Sadler Vaden produced that record, and we did that that same year. So
Shout out to Sadler, too. He's joined us here in the studio many times. Of course,
hey,
out,
Sadler.
Yeah, out on the road with Jason in the 400 unit right about now. So I have to, as a quick follow-up, when you were working with Sadler Vaden, how much, like ballpark, how much time did you talk about when Oasis is going to get back together again? Because that, every time I've talked to Sadler in like the last 5 years, that always seems to come up in conversation.
I actually distinctly, as soon as you said the word Oasis, it took me back to his music room at his house.
See?
So, yes.
I'm not making it
that
up.
definitely happened. That definitely happened. Yep, you're not wrong.
All right. Yes, we've got Hannah Wicklund here in the studio again, headlining our Nashville Sunday night this Sunday out at 3rd and Lindsley. And you want to stay tuned. We're going to give you a chance to call us here in the studio and try to win a pair of tickets to that show. Mentioned that she's been touring with Marcus King, kind of hopped off that tour for a couple of weeks, going to hop back on the West Coast, did you say?
Yeah, I think we pick up in California. So
okay.
That's fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Sure. That's always fun. And you're no stranger to the stage now. Am I reading this correctly? You've done like over 2,000 shows.
I was very fortunate to get an early start. I started, so the band kind of progressed. It started as the Steppin' Stones. I really was dead set on being in a band, you know? Mm-hmm. So I started that band when I was 8, and I'm from Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, which afforded us lots of opportunity to play, like whether it's festivals or restaurants,
hotel
or
lobbies,
bars. Yeah,
sure.
yeah, the whole 9 yards. So I got to start playing out, and then I graduated high school a couple years early and got on the road at 16, and I have just been plugging away for quite a while.
So you started your first band at 8.
It says here, too, that you've performed for the first time at 6.
I had a bocce ball tournament. Yeah, my brother's older band was called the Gnomes, and I got to set up my keyboard in between like their sets. You know, we had it set up, and so I only played Beatles songs at that point. Like the only music that I played, I started playing piano when I was like pretty young, and it was only classical music
as a child.
I was gonna say pretty young. We're already talking like age 6.
My parents, like, they're very supportive, very, very wonderful people that had a nice space for creativity at the house. So I was really able to explore a lot. but yeah, the Beatles were basically like my complete introduction to music. So I just played like, I don't know how many Beatles songs a day. It felt like a ton, but it was I probably played like 8 songs, you know?
Right.
But yeah, that was technically my first show.
Wow.
Nice.
So what?
Beatles on the keys at a bocce ball
I was
game.
gonna say, at the age of
At 6 years old.
Yeah.
So when did you start to begin? Is that right around the time that you started to figure out how to play piano? I mean, are we talking like, to Melissa's point, we're talking like in the crib? Are we talking like 3-4 years old?
Yeah, I was 3, I think 3.5 when I started taking lessons, and it started out, you know, like the first like few, you know, months, 6 months was probably, it was more like learning the basic, you know, like Mary Had a Little Lamb situation. And then I started, once my hands were actually big enough, I could start playing chords. And basically when I was like 5, I started doing classical competitions and started getting into that world. And I pretty much felt a split early on between like, okay, there's the classical, really regimented way of things, which I had you know, a couple piano teachers, and it was, you know, more of a vigorous kind of thing. And then it was like more like dessert. It was more like a treat whenever I would get to play, you know, the Beatles songs.
Right.
And my dad had got me a Beatles Easy Play Today book. So it was like super basic, not the actual
I think I
piano
might have
parts.
that same book. Except that's what I play now.
Oh, don't worry. On piano, that's exactly where I am still. Let me tell you, I picked up guitar and piano. Unfortunately, it took a back seat. So I'm with you. But that book was amazing. It was just like the chords on the left hand and then the actual vocal melody on the right. And this was before YouTube. I'm so happy I can say that.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So happy I'm at least old enough that I can say before YouTube.
We
So
didn't have YouTube tutorials back when I was 6.
Right. But I like didn't even listen to some of the songs before I was playing them, and so it was yeah, it was very just kind of like jumping into the deep end and figuring it out. So I kind of formed an affinity for more of the organic side of music as opposed to the more structured reading classical side, which I have much respect for that world, but I think I'm better off in this one. So.
Well, I think you're doing just fine,
Yeah.
Hannah. That's and that's the
Made
proof.
the right choice.
The proof is right in the music, and you're gonna play another one for us, right?
Yeah.
Before she heads on out of the studio, as we get ready for our Nashville Sunday night coming up at 3rd and Lindsley. Again, Tristan Bushman opening the show at 8 p.m. Hannah's gonna take the stage Sunday night at 9 p.m. out at 3rd and Lindsley. So, which song would you like to play for us next?
Well, might as well play the one that Sadler and I wrote together for that record. This is this is the single off of that record, you know. No one can see my air quotes over the radio, but
You can on volume.com
Yeah,
right?
but yeah, so this is Bomb Through the Breeze.
All right, it's Hannah Wicklund live here in the volume.com studio on Lightning 100.
Said you wouldn't want no war. You stand knocking on my door. You think you were some pioneer. Sugar, I call your bluff from here. So don't go around pouring gasoline. 'Cause I
Nice.
Whew.
Could have gone low in the morning, but I went high.
There we go. God.
Sounding great,
Once
Hannah.
again, Hannah Wicklund, live in the Volume.com studio. That one was Bomb Through the Breeze.
Yes, indeed.
And you can see those air quotes if you go to the Volume.com live stream.
That's right.
Volume.com/lightning100. We do have a few cameras in here for all of the air quotes to come.
That's right. That's right. So excited about, I'm so looking forward to the show on Sunday night. My goodness. Sounding great. Hannah Wicklund joining us here in studio. Before we let you go, I'm a little bit curious as you're playing that song, like shredding on an acoustic guitar, like bending chords and just like shredding at 9 o'clock in the morning on an acoustic. And you mentioned about your early influence being the Beatles. Who are some of the other artists that have influenced you throughout your life and career? And are any of those, like, you mentioned some collaborations with Sadler Vaden, shout out Sadler, and Lincoln Parrish. Are there some other artists that you maybe would like to collaborate with at some point going forward?
Definitely lots of artists I would like to collaborate with. I don't know if those two answers are the same group of people.
Sure.
I'd say as far as my earlier inspirations with guitar, and in more of the, writing my music phase of things, definitely Neil Young.
Okay.
Definitely Jimi Hendrix. Some Tom Petty.
This all checks out. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd say as far as, collaborations go with other artists, I mean, one of my favorite bands, because obviously my dad had a lot to do with my taste in music. We started off as like a classic rock cover band when I was like really young. And then as far as, getting older and finding like my first like couple of like bands or like records that I loved, and I always feel like I'm going to butcher the name, but the Rocketeers. Raconteurs.
Sure.
There we go.
Brendan Benson, Jack White, they're all here in Nashville.
Yeah, totally.
There you go.
And so, like Brendan Benson, I would love to collaborate Jack White. But definitely, I think on the highest person on that list these days is Fiona Apple after that amazing record she put out. What was it, 2020 that it came out? Fetch the Bolt Cutters.
Yep.
Such an amazing album, and it's so creative, and it's super, I've shown it to a lot of people, and it's funny because not every time, but I show it to a lot of men who just go, she sounds angry. I'm like,
That sounds about right.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she? Huh,
I
imagine
wonder
that.
why.
Yes, what does she have to be angry about? But no, so I think hearing that record was like a really big re-inspiration for me, especially, in that year. And so, working with her sometime would be really cool.
I love it too when you mentioned it, and it was like we all knew, but none of us knew like time over the
Time
last
is
few
so weird
years. It's
now.
like, wait a
Right.
second, was it last year or was that like 3 years ago? But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Fantastic record. And
Yes.
can you imagine that? Hannah Wicklund and Fiona Apple collaboration?
I don't think my brain could handle it.
Let's speak it into existence. We'll just
Yes,
keep talking about it on the radio. That's
I
right.
love manifesting. Let's do it.
manifest it.
Let's do it.
We'll keep talking about it on the radio so that others can join in the fun as
You guys
well.
are awesome.
And maybe even Hannah will mention that on stage this Nashville Sunday night. Again, she's going to be our headliner out at 3rd and Lindsley. Looking very forward to that. Hannah taking the stage at 9 p.m. Tristan Bushman going to open up the show at 8 p.m. And we're going to open up the phone lines here in just a second, giving you a chance to call us and take a shot at winning 2 free tickets to the show out at 3rd and Lindsley this Nashville Sunday night. But not before we say, Hannah, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate you not only being here as part of the morning show, but being ready and singing and sounding amazing this early in the
Going
day.
high instead of low
Exactly.
at 9:30 in the morning.
That's what's up.
Well, thank you guys so much. It's been so much fun. Can't wait for Sunday.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it as well. And with that, we will open the phone lines here in the Volume.com studio. 615-777-5100, the number to dial. The show's at 3rd and Lindsley. Go with caller 3.
Let's
Does that
do
sound
it.
good? All right, and there's 3 of us in the studio. It's all working out.
I'm seeing.
We're
Yeah,
good with
it's
numbers.
a sign from the universe.
Good with numbers. 615-777-5100. Caller number 3 going to win 2 tickets to our Nashville Sunday night out at 3rd and Lindsley this week.
3 words in the title.
There
Just
you
saying.
go. That's right. What was it? 4 chords in the truth? That's the Tom Petty thing too, yeah. But thank you again, Hannah. Greatly appreciate you being here.
Thanks,
Grateful to
y'all.
have you here in studio and excited about the show coming up. We'll see you out at 3rd and Lindsley Sunday night.
See you there.
All right. While you're dialing for those tickets, we're going to take a quick